right, we're in.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 21. The podcast is officially old enough to drink of the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. So, best way to stay linked to everything gaming. I'm your host, Alex. I'm joined today by Kevin, Zahi, and Mike. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So, happy Thanksgiving to our Canadians and friends south of the border.
Do you guys call it Thanksgiving? Is that what it's actually called?
Yeah. We give thanks to turkeys.
Yeah. Who did you guys kick off your land?
Oh, we're not getting into that. I'm going to move right on to a different topic. So, yeah, it is Thanksgiving.
No, they're thanking them for them getting their land from their queen they still worship.
Worship, yeah. So... Yeah, but it is Thanksgiving up here. I know, Zai, you're like 800 pounds full of turkey right now. I've got mine waiting for me after. So
I can barely breathe. The fact that I'm here is driving me crazy. My concentration is just... all I'm seeing are turkeys and stuffing.
If you fall asleep halfway through, we'll know why.
Oh, God.
So happy Thanksgiving to everyone, whether you live in Canada, US, or whatever other country. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, we get to wish it twice this year, and we'll do it every year.
Yeah.
So, for this week, not a lot of news to really go over. It's a bit of a quiet week, but we did scrounge up some topics. So we're going to talk... Actually, yesterday there was an update on the Apple versus Epic feud. So we're going to give our thoughts on that update. Excuse me. A lot of previews have come out for the Series X hardware and the PlayStation 5 hardware. We can talk about that. But mostly we want to talk about our thoughts now that we're a month away from the launch of these new consoles, and just kind of go over what we're still wanting to see from them and things like that. So kind of a lighter show in terms of heaviness, but it's probably good for Thanksgiving. Just a nice little, after supper palate cleanser. So thank you for joining us on this most holy of days.
Thankful.
Yeah. Oh, craft dinner's great. I love craft dinner. I can have craft dinner right now.
I'll come by, buddy.
They have this. Actually, they had this limited edition one. I think you can't get it. They only made 1,000 boxes. You had to win a contest to get it, but it was pumpkin spice flavored.
Macaroni.
Which, they threw pumpkin spice on top of it.
Why? That's gross. Yeah. I love pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice?
I don't want to eat my mac and cheese.
All they did.
I love me.
I didn't win the contest. I just saw on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, pumpkin spice mac and cheese." I really
finally for your true inner autumn girl.
Well, I really love their slogan. Their slogan was great. It was "This ain't no basic batch," which I thought was really, really good.
And they had it. They have it in a cup. They put it in like a latte cup or a coffee cup, like it's pumpkin spice. That is disgusting, but it's really creative.
That is disgusting.
Kraft Heinz Canada. I have it up on the stream right now. We're looking at this interesting creation of whatever.
Pumpkin spice mac and cheese.
Wow, that is gross. That's definitely gross.
It's very gross.
Ugh.
Oh, Canada. There you go. So that's how we're going to kick off the show with gross pumpkin spice mac and cheese. Pumpkin spice season is officially over too. I went to Tim Hortons the other day and they already didn't have some pumpkin spice items anymore.
Of course.
I didn't even know there's a timeline for that.
No, they already had the candy cane stuff rolling out.
Yes.
What's your guys' favorite? Hallelujah. What's your guys' favorite holiday novelty things pumpkin spice? Wait, hold up.
I got this.
Wait. What? Go back, Zahi. You said it so fast. What was it?
Candy cane white hot chocolate.
Okay, is it a particular place you get it from, or just in general the whole?
Tim's.
Oh, okay.
But in general, but that's it's my favorite holiday drink ever.
Okay.
Candy cane white hot chocolates.
Okay, Alex, what did
it's
you
literally the most basic batch I can get.
My favorite holiday thing, and it comes out around Easter, are Cadbury chocolate eggs. I could eat those like popcorn. They're so good.
Okay,
Which
those
is
are bad.
probably explains my svelte physique.
Mike, what about you?
No, Cadbury chocolate eggs.
Oh boy, that's a good question. Oh yeah, Cadbury chocolate eggs are solid. So you got the Shamrock Shake. That's pretty good.
That's
I was gonna say Shamrock Shake.
Mine is the eggnog shake. That's my favorite. I love McDonald's eggnog shake. It is so good.
You know what I like actually? It's like a peppermint pie. It's kind of like French silk pie, but they do it with peppermint and like candy cane type, and that's my favorite.
Ew. That does not sound good to me. But good for you. Peppermint, anything peppermint. I just like it. It feels like I'm eating toothpaste as dessert. Like I never got that. Anything like minty.
I like mint.
Got these new glasses for this, but I look so stupid.
They're fine.
No, and there's a huge reflection on it, so I just look like I have like 6 little eyes.
Oh, I love those glasses.
I don't know. I have
every episode. I notice. I go back and watch, and I've got like the screen reflecting in my eyes, and I'm like, can't do much about that. I can't see if I don't have them.
There we go. I got it now.
It looks like a classic anime character.
Which ones are?
It's like all I need to see is like pushing the. Yeah, exactly.
These ones make my nose look really big. Like it's like that fake glasses, like the nose connected, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It looks like so bad. It looks fake.
It's like surprise. I'm Kevin.
The people listening on Spotify without the visual, just picture Groucho Marx.
Looks, I don't know if it's
you'll get the idea.
See, I hate wearing a hat with this, but I don't want to do my hair because I just took a shower. So if I usually wear a headband, but I feel like it looks stupid. But I feel like these glasses look better with the headband.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
someone without hair. Someone without hair, I am jealous of you folks with headbands. So
it's official.
Where would Pride?
I finally went when I got my hair cut because I had my sister's wedding this past weekend. I told the guy, I was like, look, I know I got to get my hair cut. It's going to be cleaned up, but I want to grow my hair out. So he's like, we'll just clean it up. And I left it longer. Because usually when I have an event or something, I just go to the classic shaves the sides, do this thing, and I start all over. And then the next week I try to grow it out again. So this is the first time an event did not stop me from growing my hair out. I'm officially on my way to having longer-ish hair. So we'll see what happens with that.
I really want to go get my beard like cleaned up, and because I want a big Santa Claus beard. That's my goal in life. And everywhere you go, like a barbershop around here, it's like, oh, you got to wear a mask. You can't do the beard if you're wearing a mask. Like
they wouldn't cut my beard either. I had to trim it myself. I was like, can you clean my beard up for the wedding? And they said, nope, COVID, sorry.
I ordered myself one of those. I forget who does it, but like I saw like those YouTube ads for like beard places, and no, I don't have the manscaper.
I heard
but I did order
razor though.
Looks good.
I did order one of those boxes of like it's gonna come with like vitamins that you take to like encourage beard growth. And I'm like, yeah, give me that stuff. That's what I need.
I went to Niagara Falls about 3 weeks ago to visit home, and my brother, he was trying to bribe me to shave my beard. I won't say the things he said on here because I don't think we're allowed to for the algorithms.
Okay.
But it was definitely Arab related things, and he's like, "Look, man, you're coming into my work, coming into my store. You gotta shave." I'm like, okay, it's my birthday coming up. Bribe me. He's like, if you shave, I'll buy you that Zippo you wanted. I'm like, done. So he's getting me a Zippo.
The lighters, like those cool lighters.
Yeah, I want to be cool. Okay.
Wait, is this you telling us you shaved it already and now it's coming back again?
Yeah, it was so much bigger than this.
Oh, okay.
It was like out to here.
I haven't seen a picture of you in like 2 or 3 weeks though, so that's fair. I was like, is it like a day ago? This was overnight. I'm like, damn.
No, it's like there's like the beginning of like the maybe the second week of September. Oh, yeah, second or third week.
Okay. Yeah, see, mine's not too bad, but it's right around here. It just gets funky. Yours feels.
Yeah, this is my only funky spot.
Yeah.
Man, I just think facial hair, and it happens.
I just shaved just recently, so it's really short, so you can see it a lot more. Right there.
I really wish it would grow. I really wish it would grow in here for me, like right under the lip, because it just looks like I got this hole in my beard that I would like to fill. So maybe those
I don't know,
vitamins.
but it
Maybe the
Yeah,
vitamins will.
man.
Maybe that's what you need. The
It really
vitamins.
doesn't look bad though. Like everything's all connected, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
I want to look like David Letterman. That's my goal. in
David
life. I want to look like
Letterman.
David Letterman.
Letterman.
Oh my
I've
So
never
that-
heard anyone
You should-
aspire to look like David Letterman.
I want to look like
I
David.
know,
Everyone's like,
right?
I want to be David Beckham. I want to be so and so. I want
I
to be
like
David.
Alex's style is
David
I've got
Letterman.
realistic goals.
Okay. You know what? I think you can do it. I don't think there's anything.
I believe in you, Alex.
Larry King next.
Larry King. Just like
Just sit like
overalls.
hunched over, like the
Super
super
arthritis.
hunched over.
I don't know.
Uh,
All right, enough making fun of Larry King.
Yeah.
Enough making fun of Larry King. Let's talk about the games we played this week. Zai, you want to kick us off?
Actually, yeah, I'd love to. So, I don't know what happened. I was supposed to be playing Dragon's Dogma when I got back from Niagara Falls, but that sort of didn't happen. For the past week, maybe two now, I have been really deep into Guild Wars, min-maxing, and Guild Wars it's so good. Guild Wars 2 specifically, just in case that you know. And boy oh boy is that game. So I have a thing for landscapes and architecture, and I like things looking pretty. And Guild Wars is a really really well crafted, pretty game. It's fun to just Netflix and chill and just map out the world. You can easily go exploring in Guild Wars and just have fun with the environments and the scenery. And there's so many things to do in that game that it's actually coming into it. So remember, Alex, how you were saying coming into Destiny after 3-4 years is kind of complicated sometimes? I'm coming into Guild Wars at 8 years. And
Oh, wow.
Guild Wars. So there are things in that game that are so beyond my scope that it's hard to really get into. So I'm just trying to figure out kind of what I'm doing in that game, where I'm going. You start off, so you guys are fans of WoW, mostly.
Yes.
So WoW. So I had to learn this about Guild Wars and the different intricacies of some MMOs to even understand how Guild Wars 2 works. So Guild Wars is a horizontal progression system in terms of its leveling, whereas most games are vertical, meaning you power scale up to match the bosses. Whereas Guild Wars, essentially you're at the same level, but it's complicated to explain. You get a base set of skills, and those skills don't change no matter what, and those are the skills you have to work with forever. But once you hit level 80, which is the hard cap, you don't really level up past that point. So essentially there's 3, 6, 9 character slots, or archetypes. So you got Guardian, which is your Paladin, Warrior, Elementalist, which is your high power mage, and all of them essentially have, I don't know, let's just say 10 to 20 base skills, and they just work only specifically on those, and they don't learn new skills to acquire different ones. It's very simple, but it can lead to the creation of really, really crazy and far out there builds. Yeah, sure, I'm a paladin, but I have so much versatility and options rather than just a typical standard vertical scaling, which I thought was really cool. So Guild Wars is a lot of fun. The story so far has been top notch. There's really good voice acting in it. I'm considering getting the first 2 expansions, Path of Fire and oh god,
Deadfire?
huh?
Deadfire? Or no, that's Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
Pillars of Eternity.
That's Pillars, Path of Fire, and I can't remember it right now. Heart of Thorns, and those are kind of like they're on a good bundle right now. But yeah, Guild Wars 2 has just been an absolute fun ride. You can pick between like 5-player characters, and each of those characters start off in their own world, kind of like in WoW, a lot of RPGs, but I don't know. Guild Wars, like playing it so far, it's been really enjoyable. Like I'm not stressed out, and the level of complexity was some like at first I went into it like just 1-1-1-2 for attacks and stuff, but like I get to level 25, I'm like, oh god, I really have to plan how I'm hitting these things, and it's just like a random centaur, which at first I'm like, yeah, just bash it till dead, but I'm level 35 right now, and I got into a 40 to 45 zone by mistake. And I'll tell you, the deer are scary. I'm like, the deer are terrifying. I'm like, this fully decked out paladin, and this deer is beating my ass. Thank God, I have to use everything I have to kill this thing. It's just destroying me.
I love it when games do that. Like, there's
a
lot of games I play. There's a lot of games I play that like have this like open world RPG style where you can just accidentally wander into places where you shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
and you're now dead because you went there.
Man,
so
I wish it was
fun.
It's exploring fun, and I wish it was something worthwhile that gave me the challenge, but it was fucking deer.
Is there anything that's coming of Guild Wars 2? Is it like Guild Wars 3?
Yeah,
but like, I mean,
no.
So how long of a time frame was it between 1 and 2? Like, was it? It seemed like 2 came out maybe 5 years later.
Fairly quickly.
Yeah, and then was 3 just never thought.
I was in high school. No, I don't think there's right now. Maybe because I'm new into it. There's an expansion coming out next year. End of Dragons. So that's, I think, what after that, I think they're going to be capping it off. But rather than doing so we got to change that in the schedule there, Alex. Rather than doing Dragon's Dogma right now, we're going to be doing a review of Guild Wars coming up. So
go for it. I mean, it came out in 2012. I'm reading their Wikipedia page right now to see like what is coming up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like there's a ton. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, been enjoying it. You're off.
Mike, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any like games that really stuck out. I played a lot of different games, a little bit of a lot of different games.
A little bit of a lot. Okay.
Yeah,
a little bit of a lot.
Warcraft 3, Heroes of the Storm, Genshin. Did I play anything else? I played FIFA. I got that today.
How you liking Genshin still? You still like into it, or is it kind of dying out on you?
Not really. I haven't played too much of it.
The game has been very successful over the last like few. I think it said in 2 weeks it already paid off the entire development cycle.
Oh wow! Yeah,
wow.
I mean, I guess I can go over that.
That's insane.
Yeah, I just read that like when I was in the bathroom before the show started. So breaking news.
Yeah, I can. But yeah, so I played a little bit. I've really only played like 1 or 2 days. Probably only 1 day. So I haven't really got to do too much into it. But it is. I mean, it's a lot of fun. There's a bunch of different modes. I think it took inspiration from the artwork of Zelda, and you could say that it could be like an installment of the Zelda series, but in no means is it a copy of Breath of the Wild. Like now that it's actually out and like you play it, it's a lot different than Breath of the Wild. I mean, sure, there's aspects of it, but isn't like aspects of every game in every game, you know?
It's like, but it is like a free to play Breath of the Wild though. It's like the free to play like stuff, and I think we talked about this last week, but I played a little bit more of it too, and I don't know how much you've gone into like looking at how you upgrade your weapons and characters and stuff, but my friend Jeff, who's really into the game right now, is explaining to me all the systems, and he's like, well, you upgrade this, then you have to upgrade this weapon, and then each one has like a rank with the stars and stuff. And I'm like, this is like every free to play game I've ever played, and I'm just like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not paying too much attention to it. It's actually funny. My buddy, I hopped on yesterday. And was I streaming it? Yes, maybe I was streaming it. And he's hopping on and he's asking me about, oh, what characters have you unlocked? I'm like, I think just the same ones that everyone has. And he's like, well, what packs? How many packs have you got? And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm like, I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea how to get those. So he like taught me how to like get everything, and I bought a bunch of packs and stuff. Yeah, so it's cool, and I don't think it'll hinder your progress if you don't pay a dime. And I'm planning to not pay anything into it. But I think it'll pick up. I'm really trying to get to adventure rank 16 so I can start doing co-op with people. I think that'll be a lot more fun when I can do that. But it's a good game. It doesn't hold my attention for maybe longer than an hour and a half yet.
That's like the plot of it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Essentially,
that's the question I have, and I'm not even sure.
So really, what it is when you start out, you like came to this land somehow, like you're from a different world, and this character like stole your. Well, if you pick the girl, he steals your brother. If you pick the boy, he steals your sister, and you're trying to get them back, and that's it. That's
you know a lot more about this than I do. I just was like, oh, it's Breath of the Wild, but it's free.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot more to it, but so far
Zahi, have you played this at all or know much about it other than what we're telling you now?
Not a clue. You know what? This first time here.
Yeah, even though I'm shitting on it right now, I definitely think you should try it because it is really fun. It's the action gameplay, the whole like the gameplay loop of it is really fun. It's just it is muddled a little bit by some of the free to play stuff. Not that there's no paywalls or anything necessarily, but it does give you kind of you kind of want to
incentives.
I don't know what the right word is.
You're like incentivized to get like the premium pass or the packs and stuff.
No, there's just a lot to upgrade, so you almost want to incentivize yourself to get them to speed up the process of doing all this stuff. So they're not limited. You're not limited by stuff at all. It's not like, oh, because of this you can't do all this or blah blah. It's more of, I can spend a long time doing all this stuff, but I can kind of speed it or go quicker and get this. To even like get characters, weapons. There's like other stuff. I'm not an expert on this. This is me just learning from somebody else telling me about this. So
would it be a good idea? How about this? You guys know I haven't played Zelda before. Would it be a good idea to pick it up for someone who hasn't gone into the typical Zelda-style games to get a feel for the franchise?
I would say yes.
How about that?
What about you, Mike?
I think they're different games.
I think they're completely different games. But my thing is, I think you should just try it regardless. That's just all I'm thinking.
You should, but it'd be like trying to pick up a Final Fantasy game so you can feel how Zelda is.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't.
They're really different games.
I wouldn't do it to try to.
Maybe not that
say just try it in general. Pretend Breath of the Wild's just gone and somewhere else. Just try it because it is fun.
It's like Fable and Morrowind. Sure, they're kind of similar, but they're really not.
Right.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like, okay, yeah, they both have similar elements, but it's done very differently.
Right.
My recommendation is, look, just try it. It's free. I haven't played it in a few weeks because I'm not the biggest fan of it, but the few hours I did maybe the last week when I played it, or the week before, whenever it was, I did have a good time. So might as well try it. It's free.
You know what? With the rate that so many games are going free to play and promoting like not a pay to win system, but a pay to progress system, progress quicker. I think it would be really interesting to cover how far it would you can take getting, like how far you can go in a game before you have to hit that cap of I probably should buy the pack or that thing, like what is the hourly or what is the total hour benchmark that we have to play till we really need to say buy into the game that they're they're selling the
that's kind of where these free to plays, it's a lot of people call it the paywall or the point where there's another term for it. forget what it's called, but it's basically what you're saying. And then I don't know if there's even like a. I guess each game is different. This game, from my personal playing of it, I don't think that the paywall is really there at all. I think it's still, like I said, is just like a helper, and you get really involved in the world and you want new characters, so then you try to do this because you can do pretty much everything with the characters they give you for free. But then you're like, oh well, this character is kind of cool looking, and I could definitely use this one, and that's where it kind of gets you. And all of a sudden you're like, all right, fine, I'll pay the $5 or whatever to get this and this, and then there's specials, and then they're giving you free stuff, and it's like a whole thing. So.
Yeah, just because something similar happened with my friends who are playing Apex Legends right now. There's a new event called the Aftermarket event. It's essentially like it's just like another big event before the Halloween event that's coming out on in either next week or the following week. But I think the three of them had spent $25 on a gift on a pack, but here, like the amount of hours and enjoyment they've gotten out of Apex for a $25 investment into the game, to them they're like, it's really reasonable, and they get the coins that come with that to get the free seasons. So Apex, in terms of that kind of progression, is a free game that I've only ever paid $10 for, and that was just to get the seasons pass. By playing the seasons pass, you get the coins to get the next one.
I would say it's just like you're explaining, I think, is how the Genshin Impact is, where it's kind of like you don't need to have it, but you're still gonna have a really good time if you don't pay for anything. But if you do pay for stuff, it does enhance your experience a little bit, but you're not gonna be worse off. It's not like other games where it's like if you pay to get better characters and shit, you're gonna be doing better overall. So yeah, I think that's a good example actually.
Evan, what's your game of the week?
What's that? You were really quiet there for a second.
What's your game of the week?
Well, my week is a little crazy here, but my little limited
weddings
gaming. Yeah, my sister had her wedding, like I mentioned earlier. So I did get to play a couple games of HOTS because they dropped a new patch, and I think that was probably a little bit more surprising than I thought it was going to be. As in, like, big changes they did. They reworked a couple characters. They've done a couple things to like just the maps, and that's a game I always fall back in love with every time I start playing. So played a few maps of that and had a really good time. I did play, I think, 1 or 2 matches of Warcraft 3 with Mike and my brother actually, and I like that game, but I'm not very good at it, so it doesn't really go very well when I lose every single time. But actually, I think Mike and we did win, didn't we? When we played against them. Was it you that was on my team, or?
I don't think that
was it. Kev? I don't know.
No, we gave you guys a computer.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. So we cheated.
Beat us. I'm sorry. I gotta go back again. I'm dealing with some fun things this afternoon, and by afternoon I mean night. I'll be right back. I'm sorry about that.
He's drunk. He doesn't even know what time it is.
Take your time, buddy.
So yeah, that was most of my week gaming wise, and that's I know it's not really exciting. This whole week's been me just getting stuff ready for weddings, and I had a big party in my backyard, so I had to do yard work and cut some bushes down. I set up hay bales.
So you're playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, real life Animal Crossing. It's pretty much
real life Animal Crossing. Farming simulator.
I got pumpkins. I decorated pumpkins in my yard. I took dried up corn stalks and tied them to different poles in my yard. So this is, real life Animal Crossing. I took a shovel and kept hitting rocks to get money out of it. It never happened. So.
Neighborhood cat came over and you exchanged gifts.
I know. Actually, so there were 6 cats that were like living in my yard. I'm down to 3 now, and I don't have anything to capture them with. So when they show up, I have to just the lady that works the pound or whatever, she said to call her. So I called her, or no, I texted her Tuesday when I had one, and I was giving it food, and I was like petting this cat, and I had to go back into work because I was working in a meeting, and I was like, okay, it'll just stay there, eat the food, and then the cat was gone. So I'm just trying to get these things like to get to a home or something, because I feel bad they're just living outside. It's gonna be winter soon. But I've been feeding them every day and putting water out. I'm like taking care of all these cats, and I'm like,
your cats now.
Well, it's like I don't know what to do because I can't. I would keep him if it was me, but my wife's super allergic to cats, and she's got really bad asthma, which is triggered by her allergies by the animals. So it's just a whole downhill mess for that. So I have 3 or 4 cats living outside in my yard now that I feed. I go to the store, I'm buying like so many cans of cat food and stuff, and I'm like, I feel bad for these little kittens. Yeah. Anyways,
Are you for
That's
real?
my
That's so cute.
they are so cute though. The one little guy. He's gotten so big. I used to be like, because he would come in. They were like, they would let me like hold them and pet them. They were so cute, and I'm trying to like continue to do that because the lady from the pound said, if they're really scared of humans and they don't get interaction during the first couple of weeks or months, they're gonna be really hard to adopt later because no one's gonna want them if they're too scared of people. So she's like, you can pet them and get them used to you. So when I see them, I'll go out and pet them and give them some toys and stuff to play with. So yeah, I never was a cat guy, but they were cute.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think I see a hot dog over there.
Is that Moose? Yeah.
Dog? It's Moose? Okay.
Aw,
I'm gonna put him in a bun.
he's so cute looking in a bun. Look at those little costumes. Those are
Yeah.
cute.
Wait, costume? Yes. Yeah,
Yes, costume. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, of course. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. All right. What about you, Alex?
This week for me for games has been a bit of just maintenance, I would say. Like I did my dailies in Animal Crossing and WoW. I think the thing I played the most of is Smash Bros.
Are you?
What's up with Smash Bros lately?
Which is yeah, I put more time into that. Steve's not even out yet, and I was like, yeah, I want to play some Smash Bros. So for yeah, I think I'm getting ready for tonight. So if you guys want to stay tuned, after we'll be doing a bit of a Link Cable Gaming live stream of us playing Smash Bros. After. So I'm getting pumped up for that.
I'm super excited for that too.
but-
I literally told my
Yeah,
wife, I'm like,
I
you need to
just
stop
really-
playing Animal Crossing by the time I'm done with my podcast because I'm playing Smash Bros.
Yeah.
She's like, I have to get my
It's gonna be fun.
pumpkins.
I love your wife.
It's gonna be fun.
God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We'll be playing Smash Bros on live stream after this. But yeah, like this week has been a lot of like I feel like I'm on the point or on the verge of like I need to start a new big game and I just haven't decided what I want that game to be. So and then if I wait a few more weeks, I have an Xbox Series X showing up. So I'm like, well, I want a game that will last me a month to get there, or do I want to just like not really start anything up until I get there? Got Animal Crossing.
Can I make a
on stream right now?
Yeah. What's that, Zahi?
So once you get your series, a recommendation for Alex once he gets his Xbox Series X, Destiny 2.
Oh, not doing it. Not doing it.
Look, hold on.
Not doing
Hold
it.
on.
Nope.
You'll get
What's your
games.
pitch?
What? You'll get Games Pass. Hear my pitch. You're gonna get Games Pass. Games Pass comes with Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light, the new expansion. All pro bono, all with Games Pass. That I would say it's a great investment. And we can play Destiny together. That'd be amazing.
That'd be fun. That would be fun. I would like to have someone to walk me through Destiny at first
Yeah.
if I ever get into it.
You could be a space wizard, Alex. You're
is it-
pretty
wait.
much a human.
I'm already a space wizard.
This might be a dumb Destiny question, but do they have crossplay with that, or is it still locked to?
They have cross save, not cross play. So
Stupid.
I brought the majority of my friends used to be on PlayStation before they all jumped ship to PC. Then cross save came out, and I jumped over to Xbox, which is now my forward operating base. And I was able to bring my character from my PS4 over to my Xbox. So I've been playing on cross save that way. But I cannot play cross platform, so I can't play with my friends on PS4 if I'm on Xbox or vice versa.
Hey guys,
So-
real quick to cut in, and I'm really, really sorry to do this. I gotta go. I got something. to
Ah.
do. Yeah, Kevin, I
Okay.
know it's
Yeah,
gonna
not a
screw
problem.
up this whole stream. So what I'm gonna do is cut my camera and just mute it so that you just have a black screen under me. Okay? So you
Yeah,
don't have
that's
to review
fine.
it all?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk
Talk to
to
you
Sorry,
different,
guys.
Mike.
I will try and be on for Smash Bros, but 50-50.
All right. See you, Mike.
It's Big Mike in the house, buddy.
All
We
right.
got you.
See you guys.
Yeah, Mike.
But yeah, recommendation. Try Destiny.
All right. That's so. Not to get too much into it because I think I want to talk about this when we talk about on this part of the
Correct.
show. I have a Series X pre-ordered. I have no game. I don't know what I want to play on it.
I'm telling you, man.
I know how you feel. Because I have the same problem. It's like, I'm excited, but I don't know what I'm excited for exactly. I'm like, okay, this is cool, but there's... I was looking at it for the shows, like, what are the games that I'm going to want to play? And I'm like, well, I guess I can just play the games I'm already playing and maybe have better load times. I guess that's the benefit right now. I think that's really the only big thing that I can think of.
I want Gears Tactics. I think Gears Tactics.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
gonna check out.
but
Gears
that's on
Tactics.
PC already.
Yeah, but I don't have it. So for me, it's new. It's new for me.
Oh, you don't have Game Pass Ultimate or PC?
No, I didn't do it for this
okay,
gen. I
okay.
wasn't,
All right, well then that will be a game you can try.
All right, so let's get into our big news items for the week. The first one is actually breaking news as of yesterday. So breaking news 24 hours later. You got imagine the CNN logo flashing by and those old 90s graphics they've never changed to just say breaking news. Just picture that in your mind.
Let's go.
So
Let's do a flip.
Yesterday, a court of appeals in the States ruled that Apple is in the right. They are allowed to continue to block Fortnite from appearing on the App Store. So this is a follow-up to a story that we covered a few weeks ago, where this was all kind of this Epic Games versus Apple feud that had come out. And so, yeah, the Court of Appeals says, no, you're still not, Apple is 100% okay to block you from putting your game out there if you want to circumvent their store. So why I wanted to bring this up is everyone now, so we've got Amazon Luna, we've got Xbox Game Pass. They're all announcing that they want to be on Apple devices, and the way they're going to do that is just going through the browser. They all found a way to get around the App Store by just being like, well, it's on Safari or it's on Firefox, whatever browser. I don't have an iPhone. I don't know what browser you have on those.
Safari.
But,
I have Chrome on mine.
Yeah, so Safari or Chrome, you could access your Xbox Game Pass thing. So to be the alarmist and to be the breaking news type, do you guys think that this is kind of the end of the App Store for gaming, where companies are going to start doing their own? You know what? We're just going to find a way around it.
Or
get on your device, but we'll find.
What if this also leads to, instead leads to changing of terms and conditions to saying you no longer can do this through the App Store or through internet browsers on our phones? I mean, I feel like if there's a loophole, they're going to figure out a way to either get them not to do it. It almost seems wacky in both sense because it almost seems beneficial for Apple to allow this because then people are going to buy their devices to do this. I mean, but I know at the same time they want people to buy their devices to use their App Store and purchase their games. But I also don't think that the games people are playing through xCloud are the same type of games you would purchase on your App Store. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just different worlds, and I think Apple is. I'm not saying they're greedy, but I think they might be misreading their audience, and they might be shooting themselves in the foot because if xCloud works great on an iPad, I would consider purchasing a bigger iPad Pro so I can have this device, and if I already have it, that's the gateway drug for me to go on the App Store and buy other things that I never would buy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's I. Back to your question is, do you think this is going to be the new standard and the App Store is going to die? No, I don't. Right. I think something else will change, but I don't think the App Store is going to die because people go crazy on that shit, and they make so much money selling, stupid little apps.
So much.
So much money. Billions. Billions with a B.
So I have actually I think a quick little thought on it, but I would just like to say, suck it, Epic. Oh god, this feels so good. Eat it.
You're on the side of Apple in all of this.
I'm not on the side of Apple. I'm just anti Epic, so they can suck it. I've never personally enjoyed Epic's policies. Not as if I can enjoy Apple's anymore, but Epic has just never been a company I've personally enjoyed their development. So to see them try to circumvent policies to get further ahead on their own terms is just so gratifying to see them just get shut right down by the law. So
It is.
yeah,
It is pretty wild to consider that Apple is like Fortnite's the biggest game in the world still,
and Apple is willing to jeopardize that.
Yeah, and that to me like really shows that they're playing hardball. Like they don't want anyone to think they can get around their policies.
Exactly.
What you were saying, Kevin, about like I don't know if they can police a web browser because then you kind of open up the gate to like. Can they police websites? Can you block websites from?
And besides,
it's harder.
How can you download an app from a website anyways? It still has to go through the App Store regardless to install.
Just
so
streaming. All streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's like if you go to Netflix.com, you're not downloading anything. You're just streaming
it.
from that website.
That's a good point. But to go back to your actual question, though, Alex, I don't think that this is going to affect the App Store at all. Maybe, say, for your corporation like Epic, the large ones, the Activisions, those kind of games that are going to be on your apps or on your iPhones. But excluding those, how many independent, small-time game app developers are there on the App Store? Hundreds, thousands. Yeah. And none of them are linked or owned by any firm or corporation, and they're just independent, and they have their product uploaded on the store. So maybe we'll see the big fish more get fried on that, but for the little guys, it could possibly be a resurgence of. Think of something like Summer of Arcade back in the old Xbox times, where there was a big promotion.
That was always.
Oh god,
I miss Summer of Arcade.
I do too. They were always such good games. I looked forward to it every year.
Every year.
Such a shame.
So I'm thinking.
Castle Crashers.
Limbo. My personal favorite.
What's that side scroller one with the guy with the claw and he would do stuff.
On a Commando?
No, close. Very close.
Shadow Complex?
Shadow Complex, yeah.
Yeah, Shadow Complex was great.
That was a great summer game thing.
Beautiful. But yeah, I see this possibly as being a resurgence to have smaller game app developers promote their own products and have more of a space on the marketplace itself. So I don't see this going anywhere negatively for Apple.
Yeah. I guess it might be a bit scary if you are one of the companies that has recently tied their lot with Epic, because they've also picked up some studios, not on the level that Microsoft has, but they have
cash.
Yeah, and if you've tied your lot to them and you're like, well, we're partially owned by Epic Games and they're having this giant fight with Apple right now, does that mean our games are going to have a harder time getting out there? So there's a lot to like worry about in this era of like consolidation. Like everyone seems to be interested in buying studios. Like that's what everyone wants to do. Epic's doing it. Microsoft's obviously doing it. Sony, they've bought a studio not that long ago whose name I can't remember. And I feel like they were a big one, and I can't remember them at all.
Naughty Dog?
Oh, not Naughty Dog. I can picture their logo, and it's really Insomniac?
Yeah.
Insomniac.
If we talk about Sony?
Did Sony buy Insomniac?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Sony bought Insomniac.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they did.
The Spider-Man peeps.
Yeah.
Ratchet & Clank.
See, I was thinking Sunset Overdrive, and I'm like, who made Sunset Overdrive?
Same
in my
people, same
mind?
people. You got it.
People. That game is fun. Y'all should play Sunset Overdrive. It's really fun.
So underrated.
Well, it's on a, like no one cares for it on the Xbox One. It's not. It just seems like
Sunset
it came out.
Overdrive. It deserved more of that game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So.
What do you
anyway,
think?
Like, what do I think?
Mm.
I'm trying to think back. I want to stay consistent because I'm trying to think back where we were at with this when we discussed it last time, and I think I am actually really surprised, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this into this conversation. I'm surprised that a court of appeals didn't put like an injunction on this. They kept their decision final, where they said no, you still can't sell or upgrade, or because if you have the game you can still play it, but you can't update it, which is kind of the whole point of these types of games. I thought they were going to have some sort of injunction, or this would be settled out of court by now. I am really surprised that they are still
fighting this.
So doggedly holding on to them for both sides. I feel like Epic Games' whole position was we have the biggest. Fortnite is the biggest game in the world. There's nothing bigger than Fortnite. There is going to be a Fortnite character in Smash Brothers. You heard it here first. It's going to happen. If Minecraft's getting in, Fortnite's going to get in for sure. And all right, it's a little side note. They added so for Smash Brothers for Steve, they added in all like the crafting mechanics. I think like, that's something that you don't do for one character. You're going to do it for multiple characters. So anyway, there's my conspiracy theory. But you know, they have the biggest game in the world. And Apple is able to say, no, you can't do this. You can't go around our policies. I don't know if the Epic game, like Epic doesn't have a streaming service like Amazon will with Luna, like Stadia, like Game Pass or xCloud. It's xCloud. xCloud is the streaming service. I have to get this straight with their names.
There's so many now.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Microsoft has poor naming conventions? I had no idea. They named their new console the same as the old one, basically. So I think I'm just like, for me, I'm more surprised than anything. Like
it is very surprising.
It seems like there's so much money on the table, and for big corporations, like they have infinite money, but this is your brand. This is your whole business. So it's really shocking to me that it's still ongoing, if anything. I don't think I have different thoughts on to whether or not it's a good or a bad thing. I think it's just something to be concerned about as we get into as smaller game studios tend to be absorbed into bigger ones. I think we're heading into a direction where you're going to have just a few big names rather than a bunch of little smaller names. You look at Bethesda, for example. Like, Bethesda is a huge company that owned a lot of other studios that are now owned by another big company. Like it's that consolidation is really happening throughout the industry. So I don't know. It's to be determined. Like the story's not over yet. And
so what
it's a very interesting time
going forward now that Epic is legally not allowed to circumvent Apple's policies. I mean, what's going to happen? Are they going to just buckle down and agree to that? And they're going to be like, okay, fine, put Fortnite back on, put it back on iOS, and let's just keep this cash train going until we run out of that sweet, sweet Fortnite money.
I could see them start developing, if they haven't already, a streaming service and do what everyone else is doing and go browser based.
Yeah, but I feel like that's gonna piss so many people off though. Like, what about these people who are, and this sounds silly to us, but I know younger people, like my brother-in-laws, they're buying expensive phones and stuff so they can play Fortnite on their phone because that's where their friends all play. So now they have an expensive phone.
Really?
Yeah, now they have an expensive gaming phone.
Fortnite's huge on mobile, like insane on mobile.
But how would you feel now? You have this phone when you could have bought a cheap ass phone to stream it to it, and instead you spend all this money on an expensive phone. Like, yay, that's not great.
People are complaining about a $1,300 phone, but lose their minds on a $4,599 gaming console that can play dramatically more games. That is what boggles me.
But these people,
You
this
know?
is gonna blow your guys' mind, but they prefer touch controls on a phone to a controller.
Are we old?
This
Is
is-
that it?
You know what?
We are ancient.
I remember when my parents would tell me, you know, they used to play video games with a joystick, and I tried to get my mom or my dad to play, you know, Crash Bandicoot with me when I was younger, and they couldn't do the 2 thumbsticks, and it was just too much. We used to have one joystick we would move on our Atari, or I had one for the computer. We used a joystick, and I was like, that's so silly. You can't get used to the new future. Like, that's just stupid. And now these kids are doing touchscreen,
Old.
and I'm going, I cannot play in a touchscreen. This is so terrible. So I'm a little worried about the future on top of all of this we're talking about, because this sucks.
If it makes everyone feel better, the gaming controller standard became standard in the mid 90s and hasn't really changed since then. Like the original DualShock controller, which was really inspired by the Super Nintendo controller without the sticks, hasn't really changed in like 30 years. There you go. Yeah, that's a DS4.
There it is.
Which is, if you look at it, it's got a D-pad, 4 buttons, shoulder buttons, start and select. It has those. That's standard. And I don't think that's changing. I think that's like, you look at Microsoft and Sony, they're putting out the exact same controllers again for their new consoles. Like, yeah, the DualSense looks different, but it's the same controller basically. But I think it's kind of like we're looking at touchscreen controls like I remember when the Wii was a thing, like a new thing, and people were like, motion controls are going to come in and replace everything, and they haven't, and they never will. So,
Alex, they never ever will.
Cool.
Like, it's so definitive.
I wonder if these, like, the consoles though targets the generations for like the last 3 generations, which include all of us, and then, you know, it's the target audience isn't these young, like, beyond, I don't even know what the generation is, but the even
Zoomers.
newer than Zoomers. No, even like the younger, because like I'm talking like young kids that
Babies?
like this. No,
Yeah.
but like they're like kids that are in like middle school right now, right?
Okay.
Like
I thought
those
those
kids.
were Zoomers.
Are they still? They're just like the back end. I don't know. I don't know my
So
gens.
what are we?
I don't even.
I'm a
know.
millennial.
I'm a
according to
millennial
the-
too.
And like,
Yeah.
so like, I think if you're like born in 81 and I was born in 89, but if you're born in 81, you're still a millennial. Like, there's a wide gap there. So
Us millennials.
I love my pumpkin
you
spice.
imagine-
I do love my pumpkin spice.
Can you imagine the future of gaming being purely touchscreen and no
No.
input analog with like a
'Cause it's-
controller? It's so weird to me.
It's time for
There's-
another hobby then, if that's the future.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, when motion controls were a thing, everyone, like, and I've been buying up these old Nintendo Powers on eBay. I love reading through
I
them.
love it, by the way. Love that.
This is from the Wii era. This is from 2007. And like all their reviews and everything are saying like, oh yeah, like these innovative, immersive motion controls. And there's nothing more immersive than just pressing buttons. You forget that you're playing a game in a lot of ways when all you have to do is press some buttons. It breaks that connection. But when you have to remember how to wave the remote or like on the touch screen, like what motions do what, like that breaks the immersion. It's not the same level. I think for phones and mobile gaming, I think the big thing for people is convenience. It's that they can put this in there, like you carry this with you everywhere that you go. I think it's just that convenience level, and it just forces you to want to play games on it. I don't think it's a preference thing. I think it's just that's what you have. People aren't. I have so much stuff to show off. People aren't carrying 3DSs with them anymore. Like, this was mobile gaming for a while, and people aren't.
It was mobile
People
gaming.
aren't carrying this around with them anymore. So you got this instead.
Yeah.
I like how I didn't plan that. I just have everything within arm's reach. My Nintendo Power, my cell phone, my Nintendo 3DS. My USB keys, they're right here.
So prepared.
You have to put these in.
I found one the other day that was like
Oh, God.
75 megabytes. And I was like, whoo, this is old.
How do you? I wonder if that even works. I wonder if computers can even
I-
open that right now.
I didn't even try. I went, wow, neat, and I went into the trash because I will never need a 75 megabyte USB stick in my life ever again. This one,
Imagine that holds her like most secret, personal, like collection of photos or document. You know,
I haven't looked at
It's
it
like-
since when 75 megabytes was standard. So if
gonna-
if there was something important on it, it wasn't that important.
Oh, God.
Like this one is 8 gigs, and I'm like, ooh, 8 gigs, that's tiny. Like I remember buying this one specifically and being like, 8 gigs, I'll never need another USB stick again.
Jeez.
Also, this one that's shaped like BB-8.
I love that one.
It's got the it's hard. It's like annoying, but like yeah, it's got the USB thing at the bottom. Anyway, this is not USB stick show and tell, which would probably be the world's dullest podcast.
We just share different USB sticks for an hour.
It's really ASMR and sexy. It's like,
Oh,
I have this USB
Let me
stick.
slip it in.
That's
Here,
125.
I got this one at
And
E3.
this is
it
USB
had- It says
3.
it says 2K on
So
it,
nice.
and this is how they gave us their press kits.
That's so nice. Kevin.
It just
2
slips
gigs,
right
but I'm keeping it because
Nice.
it says 2K on it.
in, and it clicks.
Novelty 2K. Oh god.
All right, it's enough USB stick talk for one day. It's probably
I'm
enough
sorry.
USB stick talk.
That's how
for like a
he's getting
month.
all heated over there.
Oh, I'm getting heated. Alex is getting red. Kevin is getting way too into it. Oh shit. Yes.
all right.
Next news topic.
Next topic. Actually, the heated is a good thing. So,
Ooh, is
a
it
bunch
now?
of websites and gaming journalists who are, I guess, more
Ooh.
important than us,
Mm.
got Series X consoles sent to them, and they could play around with them, take videos, do size comparisons, and whatnot.
Mine's bigger.
Whatnot. And so they were testing out, pardon me, the Series X console. And the first thing,
Mhm.
well, not the first thing, but one of the things that they really highlighted, this thing gets hot, like incredibly hot. So hot. There's a video out there of the guy going to move the Series X, and he grabs it like kind of like from the rear. I don't know if like my hands are making this make sense, but he grabs it, touching the back of it, and he takes his hands off, and he was like, "Ouch!"
And
Like
he
this
died,
thing is
right on camera.
He died.
It's crazy.
you
Just
know that's
knocked
you know
out.
in Metroid Prime when you shoot someone with a fully charged plasma beam and they just kind of disintegrate. Like that happened.
This makes me want an
It was
Xbox
shocking.
more.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm getting a weapon now. I'm
So-
not even getting the system. Oh my gosh.
And this is kind of like to go with what we're going to talk about later. Is that something that is concerning to anyone? Like, so when new hardware comes out, our failure rates are going to be higher. Like the first batch of consoles that you get are not going to be the best of the best. Is this something that would give you pause when you would, if you're considering on getting a Series X? I have one pre-ordered, and I'm not going to lie. When I saw that, I was like, I don't love that.
So what
don't
are our
want
fears? Are we
this-
thinking it's
No.
gonna combust or something?
Well, it's
I'm akening it to the Red Ring.
yeah, exactly.
Back in New
That's
York.
exactly what I'm thinking of too. Is Microsoft did this before.
You know who
But don't you think they
who,
learned
who
their
wants
lesson?
their
Don't you think they're okay? They would be the same
They
way
would
saying
not.
when the Galaxy whatever kept catching on fire and stuff. I mean, I guess I feel like they learned their lesson and they know that's what they're checking for beyond anything is phones combusting again for their phones going forward. So I feel like they learned their lesson and it's like this one thing went wrong. We're not going to let this one thing ever happen, but not saying other things might. But I feel like if they had another heating issue again, the same way they did with the Xbox 360, I think that they're done completely. Like no one's going to buy their shit ever again. So I feel like they did their due diligence and homework to make sure even if it gets hot, it's not going to do anything too drastic. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
There is there is something like with the design of the Series X in general where it pulls So it pulls air from the bottom and shoots it up. Like the intakes at the bottom and the outtakes at the top. That's how that
So it
thing
needs
is
to be
designed.
horizontal.
No, you could put it vertical because there is a stand. Like you're not putting it directly on.
Yeah, there's still a
the
little
vents,
airflow.
basically. I do think this thing is going to pull in a lot of dust, and like I have a cat.
It's
And,
chunky.
she's chunky, but she's not a hairless cat either. So I'm always sweeping up cat fur and whatever. And I'm like, my first thought is my consoles already pull in a lot of dust and fur. This thing needs these really strong fans pulling in this stuff, and it's pulling it in from the bottom. I get the like there's part of me that is worried that is a poor design for the Series X. And I mean, I'm not gonna try to get a Series S pre-ordered instead because good luck. But there is part of me that's like, I don't love what they're doing.
I don't like hearing about that.
That is a little spooky.
This is. Well, it's Halloween, right? It's coming up, so this is the spooky episode. Oh, we should. Okay, I'm gonna take a note. We're gonna do a spooky episode.
We are.
Oh yeah, and we all play a spooky game and talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I like
I'm gonna
that.
be dressed up.
Because I got a spooky game I want to play.
I'm definitely gonna be in a Halloween costume.
Okay.
Me too. This is all right. Fun little side note, by the way. We're gonna stay tuned for the spooky episode.
Spooky.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like looking at the Series X and like looking at Microsoft's history of failure rates in like their early consoles, I am a bit worried about it all of a sudden. Let's put it that way.
So, if you know, oh god, this is bad. I don't want an on-fire console, man. It's a safety hazard.
Also, not want
You know,
on fire.
I mean, I guess if I can jump my insurance up right now, it won't be so bad.
No one will notice a thing.
Nothing.
But having a console that heats up like. See, here's the thing. Okay, I watched both the GameSpot review and the IGN review. Neither of them mentioned anything about consoles heating. Now,
so maybe it was a particular poor console they got sent to the folks who said it was heating. Like it might not be standardized, right?
True, but that kind of leads me to thinking if you have two huge companies that are both talking about that didn't even discuss the heating issues. It feels like a little kind of grimy, kind of, if it is heating and they didn't discuss that, that's kind of crappy. But if
it would depends on their experience with it. Like, did they keep it on for how many hours, right? Like it's hard to say without seeing what kind of tests they put it through. But yeah, you would hope. Like, I would really hope that we're not kind of being set up for another Red Ring of Death type situation, because that was bad. Like that was
terrible.
That was like a 50% failure rate at one point for the 360.
Alex, I bought Halo 3 the day it came out, and I had a huge launch party at my house.
You wanted to finish the fight.
I wanted to finish the fight, and I put in Halo 3, reloaded the first mission. I'm in the middle of the jungle. Xbox Red Ring's on me.
Oh. Like,
I had a lot of Red Ring problems too.
Yeah.
I went through 360s.
Too bad.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I would get so upset. I'm just like, I'll just go buy another one because I remember I sent one back for something. It was taking too long. I was like, you know what? I'll just buy a second one, and if I have two now, it won't be that big of a deal because I want to play. And then I remember I don't know if it was I left my hard drive attached to my old one when I sent it or something stupid, and I couldn't get my save file, and it was like a whole big thing.
That'll be easier now.
I'm trying to think of what game it was that I was playing. Oh yeah, the cloud. Thank God. I think it was Borderlands 1 that was the issue or something. I remember it was a game I was so pissed that it had happened. I was furious. I still have all those broken 360s. I don't know why I'm holding on to them. It's just like I have so many. 360 is the console I bought the most of. I think that's like a standard console because I bought the original one. Then I bought an Elite. Oh, no, even before then. This is way before. I had a regular white one But this is like before the HD stuff, right? You know, before
Yeah.
we even had the whole
Yeah.
HDMI
Before-
port.
Before you could even connect it to it.
Oh
maybe
God,
TV.
can the old days.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how many I've had. I think
I've had at
two of
least
those.
4 or 5.
I've got 2 Slims sitting upstairs in my guest bedroom in the drawer in there for whatever reason. My wife today, literally, we were looking at like, we were just talking about like the future of what we're gonna do for our basement. Cause I'm like, oh, I'd like to mount the TV and all this. She's like, well, I was like, if we mount the TV, I want to get like a fireplace stand, like electric fireplace and all this. Because I'm gonna put my PS5 or the Xbox Series X on there, and that's the only 2 consoles on each. She goes, what about the ones you have down there? I was like, well, I'm gonna rotate them up and put them in the living room, my old PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And then she's like, well, what are you going to do with the PS4 Slim and your Xbox One S in there? I'm like, well, I'm going to rotate those to the bedroom. And she's like, what about the Xbox One original you have in there and everything? I was like, well, those go to the guest room. And she's like, why are we not getting rid of this shit? And I was like, no, we have to save these. This is my memories. Our kids have to play them. She's like, they're not going to want to play your old shit. I'm like, nah, I disagree.
Oh, that's rough.
There's a guy who had a kid a while ago who once the kid was old enough to play games was like, all right, bucko, we're starting this.
Bucko.
Like, kid was forced to like start playing on like the 2600 and was like, we're like building you up every year, like you're going to play games.
Oh,
that, like,
yeah,
came out,
I've read
like,
that. I've read that.
I love that.
I remember
and the
this.
kid is like a gaming prodigy. Like
God,
the kid is
that's so
insane.
cool.
Like that after like 15 years, the dad was like, you know what, you can play whatever. I've like play games that with your friends, basically. And like this kid who was like forced to grow up playing games on like the Atari 2600 and the NES was like, games are baby easy today. Like this is pathetically easy. Just a fun little thing. So keep all those old consoles. Make your
Oh,
kids
I am.
into,
Don't you
like,
worry. They ain't going anywhere.
gaming.
I'm fighting my
It's,
wife to
you
keep
know,
them.
Hey, happy birthday, Bucko, which is what I call kids apparently.
Bucko.
We are definitely old. We have to
Thanks,
call them
Daddy.
buckos.
Thanks, Dad. You got me a
know if it shows up on
360. I'm like,
camera,
yeah, and you're in luck. It's got Red Ring of Death too. Try playing a game, son.
Yeah.
You experience it the
Here's
same way I
a
did.
towel. Here's a moist towel.
Keep it over it. All the weird things that I remember I got mine modded to try to get past. They put like some clamps on the CPU and they were doing all this stuff. I'm like, oh, it'll work, and it would work for 2 days, and then it would red ring again. I was like, no, I want to play.
Call Microsoft and ask them to send you back a console. Let's see you do that.
Oh man.
I watched a video on why the Red Ring of Death was a thing, and they were like, everything we did had no impact whatsoever on what caused this problem. Because basically what did cause the problem was there's these little solder points around the CPU that would get so hot that they would melt and disconnect, and every so like after a while they just didn't connect anymore. So there was nothing you could have done with that. It was just a poorly designed CPU. Like it was like, or not CPU, a poorly designed heatsink that just kept it at 1,000,000 degrees, so hot that it melted the points of connection around it.
So in terms, with like this heating issue for the Xbox Series X, do you think that's potentially going to slow down maybe some sales, maybe some projections for the console? Or is it still steamrolling through everything?
I think people are so desperate right now to get new shit and consoles, and everyone's working from home and COVID, and I think this is like, I don't know, maybe in the long run, if things go worse than just a few reports about overheating, like if someone's house catches on fire or something, then maybe. But right now, just saying it runs hot, I don't think it's going to scare anybody. At least I don't think so
either. I think it's going to be like a few months down the road, maybe a year, when like these things will work out of the box. They're not going to fail day one.
We hope.
Like the 360, after like a few months or like a few years,
a bit of wear and tear.
That's when you start looking at it. So I don't know. It's one of those things, like I want to see it firsthand. Like it's like, but I'm thinking of my entertainment unit, which is in my living room, so not the room I'm currently sitting in. But
this isn't an entertainment room. This looks like the coolest entertainment room.
I can entertain in multiple rooms.
His entertainment room is like the red room from 50 Shades. Totally different type of entertainment.
Like, oh, it's that kind of entertainment room.
Yeah,
Alex.
again, I can have multiple entertainment rooms.
Yeah.
No, this room only has a tube TV in it. This is where I keep like the NES, the 64, GameCube hooked up to. And so I'm
So
thinking,
smart.
well, I don't like playing old consoles on new TVs. I can't stand that input delay, so I like to keep the old TV around.
Oh.
So in the other room, I'm looking at my entertainment unit. And I'm like, I'm going to need to rearrange things for the Series X. It's so friggin' big. But now I'm wondering, like, do I have it horizontal or vertical? So that's another question I'm going to have to ask myself, because if I wanted vertical, I might have to put it. I'm definitely not going to put it on the floor. That's like a horrible idea. But I'm thinking of like maybe having to put it on my subwoofer. I know without pictures, it's hard to picture what I'm talking about. But like, I have a 3-tiered shelf, and none of them is tall enough to put this console on. If I put it on the top shelf, it would block my TV, which is right above it. So decisions. So I guess this takes us like the other thing, and the big thing I wanted to talk about this week. So as of yesterday, we're a month away from the launch of the Series XS. And as of tomorrow, we'll be a month from the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I can't believe it's coming. You think they'd
It's
get
coming.
delayed?
We're a month away.
You think 2020 could hit them and they get delayed somehow? Do you think it's possible?
Not at this point. I think.
No,
I mean,
at this point,
think
it's
it's
like
I thought that would.
it's certified gold.
I thought I'd be playing my Shadowlands in a couple weeks here, but that had other plans too.
that's true. Cyberpunk.
I thought I'd be playing it.
Cyberpunk should not be.
Well, Cyberpunk should have come out like 6 months ago.
Oh, I saw that they're like we're
I'm
not
supposed to be
delaying
playing
it.
Halo Infinite.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not gonna be
Halo
playing
Infinite.
that.
There's two like for them
Beyond
at
Light.
this point to say we're delaying a console is like
No, you manufacture that and you get that out to people.
Yeah, but the
like
manufacturing
unless
parts.
the boat they're on sinks.
I'm well. Okay, I guess if they're shipping out stuff to reviewers and influencers, I think that's what we say. They got to have at least some ready. So I guess that makes sense that they have some. I'm wondering if stock is just going to be ridiculously terrible.
Probably stock will
I think
be
we saw-
terrible, but I doubt.
So a bit of,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
probably stock is going to be terrible, but I don't think they're going to outright not or push back the launch of it. That would be insane.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw a bit of it, like the stock issues with the pre-orders. Like the pre-orders disappeared so fast, and I think both Microsoft and Sony says like, oh, there might be some for day one. Like if you walk in, that's if you like amped out 2 weeks in advance at this point. Like if you want to like get a Series X or PlayStation 5 day one and you're planning on walking in, like go buy your snacks now because you're going to be outside for 2 weeks waiting for this.
At least.
So doing so, I mean, I never think it's a good idea doing it in the middle of a global pandemic. I really think it's a bad idea. So I'm not advising it. I'm just saying that's what you should be doing if you want to do that. I think like for me, like what is still shocking is that we're a month away from both of them, and there's still like things we just don't know. Like Sony has been doing damage control on their backwards compatibility thing.
It's so bad.
Which I think at this point they just need to like, all right, they're saying, hey, 99% of games will work. They just need to. They keep putting it like on Twitter and like as responses to people who are criticizing them, like. Just make a video, like just like show us how backwards compatibility works. Like, do I just put if I have a PlayStation 4 disc and I put it in, is it just going to work, or is there an update that needs to run? Like, what is backwards compatibility on PS5? We have no idea. Microsoft's been a lot more
Open.
honest, upfront, open. Thank you about it, where it's basically the same as how it worked on Xbox One. For backwards compatibility. So
And that's it.
Which is
That's all
good.
people needed to hear.
I'm just.
You know?
I'm not sure they even know how to handle it though, because I feel like it's such a backwards compatibility in them just seems like a foreign thing for Sony, and they're just like,
Which
Or maybe it doesn't work good. Maybe that's the thing. They don't want to advertise it because maybe it sucks.
Maybe.
Because I remember that
Yeah.
was it the PS3 with the emulation, the 80 gig fat one? Like not everything emulated really well. I remember I played a few games going, okay, it kind of works. It's good enough. Because I wonder if they try to advertise that and then people are excited to do it and that's a feature they're looking forward to, and then they use it and it sucks. So I mean, on Xbox you play it, it plays better than the original. PS4 or PS5, maybe that's not the case. Could be.
Maybe. I just the fact that we're a month and a day away and we still just have no real like I believe them when they say that most games will work. At one point they had said the 100 best and they walked that back. They changed that. All right, that's old news. I get it. But like we're a month away and I still don't really like. I've got a couple of PlayStation 4 games back behind me. Do I just put the disc in and just, hey, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, or do I have to like download something? Like, how does this work? What's your path for it? And Sony themselves have been really like, well, like, oh, people don't want to play those old games. They want to play with the new stuff. Like, they've been very like non-committal to backwards compatibility, which is a big question mark. Excuse me. Should have gotten a glass of water before the show.
Okay.
But everyone's like, I'm fine, like perfectly fine. I just like I'm so passionate for this.
Alex really loves backwards compatibility.
Hey, I love backwards compatibility.
Well, I really do.
So do I.
Love old games. Like that's for
I
me, it's an important
nostalgia.
feature. So, yeah, like the fact that it's still a question mark a month out is concerning. Like it's worrisome to me. And then for the DualSense controller, that's a whole other thing where they're saying like, oh, we've got more to share about it. Like it has features that we haven't talked about yet. It's like, well, like when are you going to talk about them? Like,
what is it? An iWatch? Jeez.
Well, the rumor is it's going to be an AI assistant. Has been a rumor that's been floating around for a long time, but we still don't know anything about that. There's another one that I wanted to bring up that we just don't know. Oh yeah, VR. We don't know if VR headsets work with PlayStation 5. Like, keep hinting that there's going to be a PSVR 2 or like later down the road, but like if you have a PSVR right now, can you connect that to your PS5? Or do you have to keep your PS4 sitting around?
Yeah,
like we don't know. We have no idea.
I thought everyone still had speculation.
And that's what's aggravating with Microsoft.
I thought they were still speculating there was going to be a PSVR for PS5, which is even weirder because their main new like mascot for it all was the Astrobot and the game that comes pre-installed, which is a VR game originally. So it seems kind of weird that, I don't know.
And that's what's aggravating me right now about Sony is their complete lack of like, what am I buying, people?
They're not being transparent at all.
Offering?
Just like he said.
They're not, man. And it's really excuse me. That's Thanksgiving turkey coming out. I feel so much better actually. When you have Microsoft, your mortal enemy, your competitor in your industry, the only thing that really rivals you is just shelling out what fans want, what gamers want. Different price points, different options for purchasing. You know, it seems like they are shooting themselves in the foot, like you said, and it's not helping their case.
I just feel they're trying not to spend money doing this stuff, though. Like, Microsoft is putting money trying to win people over again because the lifespan of the where we at, Xbox One
hasn't it though?
But I mean, they've not. So let's say it this way: people were buying the PS4s, and everyone knows it because the games they had there were really good, and their exclusives they had. People, there was the reason to buy it. And if you were looking to buy a console, you'd buy, okay, well, they've got God of War. I can't play this anywhere else, and I really want to play it, so of course I'm doing this. Or the very beginning of it all, when Microsoft was like, you have to buy your Kinect, and that nobody bought the stupid Xbox One because it was too much money with the dumb camera nobody wanted. So Microsoft has been trying to, they've been trying to...
No!
Microsoft's been trying to catch up by offering all these different services because they know they can't make as good of games right now because they just started buying these studios the last 1.5 to 2 years, and it takes like 5 to 6 years to make a great game. So I'm wondering if this decision to change what we're offering, instead of saying we have the best games, they're saying, well, we got great games, but we've got a bunch of other shit too. I mean, it's working for me. Like, I still think Xbox is kicking ass. I don't know. I'm biased because I'm buying both, so I guess I can't even give a good reasoning.
I think, like, I wrote that article for the website, who would have won E3, and basically it took everything that over the course of the summer had been announced and showed, and pretended that this was one big gaming event. Who would have won?
I love that article, by the way.
Thank you. I thought it was really fun. It was fun to write, and like I'm a big E3 fan. Like I love everything about E3.
Know.
It's like
I like.
so, like,
who wrote the article about why E3 is still important? Was that Jacob or you?
Oh, it might have been me or him. I did write an article called E3 Sucks, which was more of like going to E3 is not very fun.
Yeah, I remember that when I read that. Alex?
His mouth is just open. He's so excited. He's foaming at the mouth.
Wow, Alex.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have frozen.
You
For a
did.
second.
You definitely did.
Say that again, then?
Yeah. I love E3. I may have written that article. I'm sorry if I can't remember exactly. But,
No. So who do you think would have won then?
I put Microsoft as who would have won E3 this year. I think
They needed to win.
Well, I did throw in that the Bethesda announcement would have been part of E3. Like they would have announced that at E3.
Absolutely, that would make sense.
And looking at like, here, let me pull up the article because I was actually a bit more surprised at how many games they actually have coming. I don't think they have games that are as big as what Sony did, but there's a lot of games that we just kind of forgot about and we stopped talking about. So I'm pulling it up right now. Who would have won E3 2020 on linkcablegaming.com?
Alex.
Yes.
Do you remember last year's E3 when at the end of the Microsoft show they
Vividly.
Vividly. When Microsoft came out with all the companies they purchased, for example, Obsidian, and then Obsidian came out with the Outer Worlds.
Yep.
So were you? That's why I agree with you definitely that by the end of E3 they would have made the announcement that they purchased ZeniMax as a whole. So I don't see that as being something very far off. And right now there are talks that Microsoft is even buying back Bungie.
Yeah.
After their split with Activision.
Things. I'm so curious to see what
I've heard that rumor
this.
too.
It's so convenient. Mm-hmm.
Where I'm skeptical is that as soon as Bungie was free, quote unquote, from Activision, they were so, everything they said was like we can do what we want now because we are not bound to a major label. So for them to kind of go back to another major label so fast seems really.
It's been a year and a half.
Well, money talks, right?
Money talks.
Money talks.
Microsoft shows up with a couple of billions of dollars and says, "Hey, come home." I'm sure they would. But yeah, so I pulled up the article here. So, so Halo Infinite is the biggest game they would have had, but like Avowed, Fable, which I think everyone stopped talking about Fable. Forza Motorsport, The Gunk, State of Decay 3, Everwild, Grounded, Psychonauts 2, and then get into the third-party stuff. But like Assassin's Creed Valhalla was shown at a Microsoft event. Scarlet Nexus was shown at a Microsoft event. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Phantasy Star Online 2, Stalker 2, The Medium, and then
The Medium.
It's in the smaller things here. Oh yeah, Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Like we're getting a Vermintide. Getting a 40K version of Darktide or Vermintide. That's awesome.
Sexy.
That is games. Like there are games coming to the Series X and S, just not right now. They're coming later. Whereas Sony, a lot of the games were like, here's what you could play soon, like Ratchet and Clank, Sackboy, Spider-Man, Demon Souls. Like, yeah, those are good games, but they're kind of what is right now. Then obviously like Horizon 2 and God of War. Yeah, those are okay. That's massive. That is really big. But I think like,
That is your big seller.
if you look at everything, I was just like, yeah, I think I kind of like what Microsoft had more than Sony this year. So then there's Nintendo, which I threw. They're in the article. I think Nintendo had a surprisingly good year, but they're just kind of like, you can't really compete with new hardware. Like new hardware is on a whole other level. Like
I don't know. At the same
you're
time,
talking about
I don't even think they need to compete with new games because the content they keep putting out for like Animal Crossing is still thriving. Like,
yeah.
I can just in my own life I can see it, and then the overall response from everything they're requesting, and these people are going nuts about, we need you to add this, we need more of designs, I need more DIYs, I need this and this. So that game, I mean, Smash Bros is still getting new characters, as we know. We talked about that, about the Minecraft stuff. So, I mean, they're making money on that.
Right?
It's like I feel like they're.
I can't believe there's still 4 characters to come to Smash Brothers. Like it's wild to me that game just
it's not
is going to have.
It won't die.
But it's good. I like
that.
It's
double the DLC.
I almost
Smash
don't
4.
even need like
it's ridiculous.
I think this if they continue to add stuff to this game for the next, let's say, 2 years. Let's say they keep going, they keep doing it. Like, I don't think anybody would be unhappy about it. I mean, the game still looks great. It doesn't like. It's not like, oh, if this game looked better, I'd like it more. Like, there's nothing to do with that. It's still just as fun. I mean, I don't know. The stuff Nintendo does just seems like it does everything completely different than everybody else, and it just seems to work no matter what kind of way they go about it. I mean, they have a new Zelda game coming out that people are going to buy it just because it's in the Breath of the Wild world, even though they probably hate the game. I mean, that's just what they're doing. I mean, and it works. And they're re-releasing every game from last gen. They're like, oh, backwards compatibility for free. What's that about? Because we're charging you all, and you guys keep buying it. Alex, which
is very different. Is very different for Nintendo. They used to be all about that free backwards compatibility.
Yeah, but look at they're charging us for.
Mm-hmm.
We just paid money for Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, and Mario 64. I paid $60 for that.
Really did.
I haven't even opened it. I don't even know if I'm going to.
I think Pikmin 3 Deluxe came out either last week or next week.
Yeah.
It's coming out, and that's a Wii U game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what Wii U game is they
you
not
just
put
bought,
out? What's that?
Oh, Xenoblade X. Xenoblade X is the one game I'm like they still need to put Xenoblade X. But pre-show, you were saying you just bought a new Switch game, which is a Wii U.
You're right. You're right. And I never played that one on Wii U, so it's okay. But I got.
That's awesome.
No one did.
I was telling him I bought Tokyo.
Alex.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Is that the right title?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE.
Okay, I don't know anything about this game, but everyone talked about it very positively, and they said if you've liked any of the Persona games, it has a good feel of that, and that was good enough for me because if I can play it,
that's a franchise I want to prime.
It's like a good handheld game I wanted to play because I'm like, I like my. I'm still playing Final Fantasy 12, but it's like I go weeks between gameplays because it's like I want to play that on the big screen. And it's not as fun handheld.
Absolutely, so I can't handle a Final Fantasy title on something small. I'm like,
I think when handheld, I want some turn based. That's what I think. So like, I played Bravely Default. No, but not Bravely Default. What's the game that's like that? The name.
Octopath.
Yeah, that one. That's what I played on, and that was perfect handheld. That was like it's easy pace. It's slow pace. I mean, but at the same time, it was nice to put it on the big screen to see it. Like, oh, this is beautiful, but I don't need that. I could lay in the couch and just sit up with my neck on a pillow, comfortable. That was just as good. Okay.
I think you're really gonna like Tokyo Mirage Sessions on Switch because it is a very good handheld game. I played it on Wii U, so I never got to experience it that way, but. It is a very good it's very Persona. Like you're going through dungeons and they're fairly repetitive, they're big, they're sprawling, and it's all turn-based combat. So it's a nice game that you can just kind of mellow out. It's not. Don't get me wrong. It is visually. I thought it was really good in terms of art style, but it's not a looker in terms of graphics. So and the soundtrack is so good. The J-pop soundtrack in that game is.
Oh, that's cool. I'm really excited to start it. I just
Hey, which game?
it's called Tokyo
Mirage
Mirage Sessions hashtag sharp something.
I really want to check it out now.
If I just
It
for our listeners and for anyone else on GameFly's site, you don't need to be a member of GameFly, mind you, but they do a sale to kind of purge some games they've got extra of, and I'm on their email list still, and they had it for $40 used to get it on there, which is
Dang, son.
pretty cheap compared to
Really
everywhere
good.
else you could get it. But I ended up doing a little bit better because you have to pay for shipping, and I ended up finding a copy on eBay for the same price with free shipping, so I saved $5. So I got that one.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. For those who might not know, it is a cross between the Shin Megami Tensei / Persona verse and the Fire Emblem universe. So it has characters from Fire Emblem, well, specifically like newer Fire Emblem games, are part of this world. So it's very much a turn. It has no Fire Emblem gameplay really, other than like it kind of uses the weapon triangle where like swords are stronger than spears, which are stronger than axes type thing. But other than that, it's its own thing, which is really cool. I really like that game.
Quick question:
Yeah.
Is Shin Megami Tensei and Persona in the same universe?
Yeah, kind of. Persona is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei.
What?
Which is confusing because I played Persona 4, I loved it. Tried a Shin Tensei game, I couldn't get into it even the slightest bit. So I don't know.
They're very different. They're very different games.
They're super different.
Very different and not
They
in a
are.
positive way.
They are the same
Universe.
Yeah, they're not. They don't connect to each other, but they're the same. Like one is a spin-off of the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Universe.
All right, that's how interesting. I love me some J-pop.
Oh, so you guys want to know my fun fact of the day?
Fun fact of
Go
Alex's
for it.
day. Yes.
Fun fact it up.
I'll ask you a guess question. Like you have
Okay.
to guess the answer.
Oh, let's do it like a news report.
Oh, North America. We're not going to talk about Japan, but North America. What console did the first Shin Megami Tensei / Persona game come out on?
What was the first part of it? What country or what console?
Which console? So
Okay,
which console was
so-
the first in North America to get a Shin Megami Tensei / Persona game?
PC.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, PS1. That's your
PC.
guess, okay? You say PC.
What
PC. Yeah.
Right. No.
what was a console before the PS1?
There wasn't.
Like
from
Super
Sony?
Nintendo? Sony did nothing before that.
Hmm.
Walkmans, I guess.
The Sony
Probably.
Walkman.
No, so you're both wrong.
No,
I
we
know.
both suck.
You were right in like the era, like it is like that mid.
Yeah.
80s. Virtual Boy.
Really?
I fucking knew it. I'm like, it's
feel like
I'm like, it's
someone
not the
told me this.
PS1.
The Virtual Boy.
I remember reading that, man, because I did something with Shin Megami Tensei recently, and I read that, but that's why I'm like, it's not the PlayStation 1, but I know I'm somewhere close.
Is a spin-off game because like there were Shin Megami Tensei games out in Japan before.
Correct.
They came out on the NES, Super Nintendo. No, this one came out. It's called Jack Brothers. It's $1,000 game. Like it is a very rare game
Jesus
to get
Christ.
because it's an Atlas game on Virtual Boy. And it follows Jack Frost, like the little mascot character from the Shin Megami Tensei series, and it's a dungeon crawler shooter on Virtual Boy. And that came out, I think, a few months before Shin Megami Tensei 1 came out on PS1. So there you go.
Interesting.
Here's my fun fact of the day: the first Shin Megami Tensei game you can find is on Virtual Boy.
That is.
$1,000.
Shut up.
It's usually $1,000 on eBay for a copy.
Wow.
Crap.
Rarity. It's an Atlas. Atlas doesn't release games in vast quantities, especially their
They do
older
not.
stuff. And it's a Virtual Boy game, so like no one bought it. So just an interesting thing. It's just I think that's funny, really. Anyway, you guys want to wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think we're ready for some Smash Bros.
Yeah. All right. So
Uh,
you got something to say before we go?
No, I will not be able to join the Smash Bros. As I do not have a. Hold on. Let's
Shame.
let's let the audience know what's going on with the Smash Bros. Tournament. So right now, I don't have a Switch yet. How are you guys going to be playing Smash Bros? Are you going to be streaming it? What's the plan?
We'll be streaming it ready. We'll be streaming it right here. So this is just going to be us, the Link Cable Gaming crew, really. So we'll be streaming it on here on YouTube and on Twitch, so you can follow us there. Probably going to play for an hour or two just to kind of get our feet wet because, so next week we want to host this Smash Brothers tournament that is going to be open to the public. The details will be announced once we have them ready to announce. We're not quite there yet. But just because we've never done this before, so we'll want to get it done right.
I'm gonna destroy you guys.
Ouch.
Okay.
Oh,
and
Gotta have a Switch to destroy us, though.
Have you not noticed the shirt I'm wearing, the Super Smash Brothers shirt?
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I love this shirt. This is when Smash 4 came out. I got this shirt. It's sick.
Love it.
So tonight we're just gonna play for fun and kind of play video games because that's one of the fun things I keep pointing out with running a video game or working on a video game website is you never have time to play video games.
Yeah, let's see.
So weird thing. Then next week we're going to do a public tournament and there's going to be a grand prize. So stay tuned for that. Well, I'll announce all the details officially. Don't try to read into what I'm saying here. There'll be something more official coming out. But yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be up. I'm not exactly sure when. But shortly after this episode goes live, we'll be live on streaming Smash Brothers. So that does it for us for this week. So make sure to like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. This is more of a discussion type episode. There wasn't really a lot of news to
sink our teeth
into, but
we're getting there.
A month
away. It's gonna be news time soon. It's coming.
Yes. So thanks again. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. Where else are we at? Everywhere.
Mixer.
Yeah. Rip. Send us any questions if you have topics you'd like to see us discuss next week. Send us some questions. We'd be happy to look into that. And we'll be back next Sunday at 7, like we always are. So again, happy Thanksgiving to all our Canadian.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada.
America's Thanksgiving is coming up, so don't.
America.
We'll be there.
But yeah. All right. Thanks. It was a fun show. Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.